also trained companies like Ashok Leyland, Tricia Mullen, Dover India, PSA Auto, Hyundai Motors, TVS Groups, etc. His trainings have impacted organization domains like telecom in the Reliance, Vodafone, Idea, and Ticona. He has also trained lot many people in banks. Most of the public sector public sector banks, and ICICI, SCB, UTI, Axis, and so on. Very specifically, Mr. G. Ravichandran has received Ravi Puraskar Training Award from JCI for the Zone 16 in 2006. Twice he got awarded for EduRiser Learning Solution Mumbai as All India Best Trainer for the program conducted for LIC. And interestingly, Mr. G. Ravichandran is a multilingual person who can have an ability to speak in 6 languages. I'm so happy today that to invite Mr. G. Ravichandran to preside over this session and show the light on etiquette for all of us. Welcome, Mr. Ravichandran. The stage is yours. You can unmute, Mr. Ravichandran.
Yeah, am I?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, thank you very much for such a wonderful and a very lengthy introduction. And thanks for covering all the gamut of my business. And before I start the session, am I audible now, Mr. Mohan?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah.
So before I start, first let me pray my pranams to my parents who brought me on this earth and who gave me every life, blood, everything. And then my gurus, teachers, those are all, some of them are there the other side of the screen also. So I do touch their lotus feet and take their pranam and blessings. And topmost gratitude to Mr. Arun Subramaniam and Top League, Mohan, BP and all others for having given me the chance. But before I forget, I cannot ignore this, rather I cannot skip this person. Because of my personal professional commitment, I could not make my thing better. But I have handed over it to one of my closest buddy who can do work for me. And till night 12, 1 and all, he worked and he did a beautiful design for me and sent to me. My closest buddy, Mr. Tensing Paul Raj. I'm sure he will be there or he may be joining with us. So with the due respects and regards to all of this, I love to start my session. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can I share the screen now?
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah, we can see this. Yeah.
Okay. A very warm good evening, my dear friends who are there at the other side. So happy to meet you all and welcome you on this program. And before I start this program, my dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring it. Why this subject? Why this subject today? So this came into my mind, having seen and having hosted and having participated in umpteen number of webinars and the virtual classes. Invariably, I found that this particular word was disturbing me a lot because there are so many years were happening. So that's where I found that this is something that we need to understand and address. So in that way, I thought, and this is the one particularly for the webinars and the online virtual classes. Yeah, because when you are in the physical classes, yes, there are so many adjustments that we can make. But when it is on the webinar on the platform of virtual, it is most important that we need to maintain our decorum and the things. And that is where the thought of this particular topic came into my mind. And once again, I thank Mr. Arun. The moment I said this topic, he has absolutely given me a green signal. Thank you, Mr. Arun, for this lovely opportunity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go into this, I would like to show you a small video and then we will continue. Okay, fine.
Hi, I'm Priyanka, and today I'm going to talk about virtual meeting etiquette. Now, over the last few months, we've been forced to make some major changes in our personal as well as professional lives. Virtual meetings are invaluable tool for connecting with everyone, be it prospects, clients, co-workers, or even remote team members. In fact, these virtual meetings have become the norm. The main problem with remote meetings is that many people are not familiar with virtual meeting etiquette. But that's okay. Like anything else, there's a learning curve. So, most rules that apply to online meetings apply to regular face to face meetings as well. Though you need to be cognizant of a few differences for a productive online meeting. So, here I'm sharing with you all some online meeting etiquette which everyone should observe. Number one, test technology beforehand. Make sure your camera and microphone is working properly. Number two, beware of your surroundings. Yes, you have to make sure that your background is tidy, it's professional, and work appropriate. Number three, consider lighting. Lighting is really important in a professional setting. Don't have a window behind you and make sure that your room lighting is bright so that you can be seen easily. Number four, choose a quiet location. Find a quiet spot in your house where other people on the call can't hear background noises or see members of your household going about their business behind you. Number five, mute yourself when you aren't talking. As a rule of thumb, if you're not talking, your microphone should be muted. When unmuted, people might be able to hear every little sound on your end. That can include breathing, coughing, even clicking away a different tab, etc. Number six, minimize the distraction. Turn off or silence your phone. Avoid rustling papers, eating noisy food, or making other distracting noise in the background. And if you're connected on your computer, close down all the application and browser windows. That will eliminate the notification. Number seven, dress appropriately. Yes, dressing appropriately is a virtual meeting etiquette must. At least make sure you look professional from the waist up. Number eight, don't take your phone or laptop with you to the bathroom. Imagine how embarrassing it would be for you and everyone else if you forget you are on camera or you are not unmuted. Excuse yourself if you need to, just as you would do in the case of person meeting. Now you have to understand that these virtual meeting etiquettes are very important to be followed because because being able to participate in these meetings from your living room is a huge advantage, especially in these unprecedented situation. So virtual meetings are not excuse to forget basic etiquette. Thank you.
Uh, Friends, can you see me? Hello?
Yes, sir. We can see you.
Yeah, you can also hear my voice, right?
Yes, we can.
Because I could not see anybody there, don't worry. But one thing, what is your observation on this particular video? If I can say, this is what Mr. Mohan every day before he starts the session he says. And I think Mr. Mohan and DP has got a lot of patience repeatedly telling this. In spite of that, we have been, not everybody, there are one or two, and it happens unconsciously. The purpose of the communication from this video is that even in the unconscious, things should not happen. We have to be very, very conscious of that front. Do I make some sense, my dear friends? May I have your responses through the chat box?
Yes.
Yeah, because I can't even see the chat box here. So someone should help me there. Okay.
Yes, Sir Ravichandran.
Okay, fine. So now moving on, this pandemic or this virtual platform, I think it is going to be the order of the, not day, years it is going to be. Now, as Priyanka was talking about, Dr. Priyanka was talking about, that we need to learn all these things. And ladies and gentlemen, please understand, this is not new for us. This is very, very well known to us. I always say etiquette is not a skill. Etiquette is a common sense. It's an attitude. It's a common sense. So if I'm able to use my common sense and if I'm able to do perform or present myself in such a way, I think we can fantastically perform for them. So moving further on this, when I talked about this word etiquette, basically, this it originates from France, where they call it as etiquette. There are so many mispronunciation of this word, etiquette, all those things. Those are all wrong. It needs to be pronounced as etiquette. Okay. Then moving on to this particular. So what is etiquette is all about? So etiquette is defined as a good behavior. The way I behave in a society, the way I behave. No, there is something that the highest degree of discipline is what it means. It is the way you behave even when you are alone. That is what people talk about, the behavior, the discipline, what we talk about. So when I talk about the etiquette, the first and foremost word it attracts is the way I behave. It differentiates human being from animals. It is not that any animal, no, we are absolutely different and we have sixth sense. We have to use that. Refers to behave in a socially responsible way and refers to the way a responsible individual should behave in a society. How do I again go and participate in the society environment or society culture? Or even when I talk about society, it is also connected even my house, and it also connected my official places also. So how, it is not exactly only in a common place, it is wherever I am, how do I respond to the situation, rather how do I behave in a particular way. Moving on to this, there are two types of etiquettes. The one is called a social etiquette, the other one is called a business etiquette. So first I'm going to address about the social etiquette, then I'm going to talk about business etiquette. Ladies and gentlemen, let me once again emphasize the objective this. As we are talking about the virtual platform, the video has covered almost all the virtual concepts, how we have to behave. But coming on to this onwards, it is not only for the virtual, even for your physical one-on-one, also it applies, it holds good. So how do I participate? When I talk about social etiquette, it is purely marked by the courtesy. And please remember, ladies and gentlemen, here the gender plays a big role. Here the gender plays a very big role. So when I move on to the business or professional etiquette, it is purely based on the hierarchy, purely based on the power. So what position I am, I'm respected based on the designation or the power of the post I hold. And here absolutely there is no gender bias. There is absolutely no gender. Whether it is Mr. Arun Subramaniam, or it is Indra Nui, or it is Archana, or it is Nirmala, or it is Ravichandran. It is all common. There is no absolutely, because here it is not the person or the name place, but here the position and the power plays here. So moving on further, now I would be emphasizing, rather focusing for some time on social etiquette, right? So the golden rule and the platinum rule, these are the two rules which very well applies in the etiquette. So when I talk about the golden rule, what happens? Generally, what do we expect from the people? No, we always expect people, I want them to treat me the way I want them to be treated. But unfortunately, what happened? The people treat the way they want they want the person to treat like. So treat others as you would like to be treated. How I should be treated, the same way I did. But the platinum is something bigger than that. Treat others as they would like to be treated. How would I like to be treated? That gains the more attention and the focus. So these are the golden and platinum rules of the etiquette. The golden rule says, treat others as you would like to be treated, right? This is a very good saying, no? Others' behavior towards me is invited by me, right? Exactly, how I wanted to be treated. That is where exactly it is. When I move on to that, whatever the way I've been treated, I'm not worried, but I would be focusing how the other person want him to be treated. That's such a way I'll treat them. Right? I know it maybe sound like a visu joke like in Tamil. However, it is. These are the golden principles and the platinum principle of etiquette. Now, moving further, when I get into the social etiquette, I'm just now narrowing my focus. I'm narrowing down to the particular thing which is called when I talk about social etiquette, the first thing is how many of us greet? How many of us greet? Can somebody when you meet a stranger, how many of you greet others whether you are traveling in air or a bus or a train, even, or how many of you treat your auto driver or a taxi driver or your own driver? How many of you? Mr. Morgan, I could not see the chat box. Do I get some answers? Am I getting some answers, Ms. Mohan?
Yes, Mr. Ravichandran, we get answers from Annette, Edwin, Mr. Nafisar, Rama, Mr. Chidambaram. Everyone says that they do.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. So this is the very basic attitude or the courtesy or the etiquette that we need to know. But most of the time, what happened? Even in the co-passenger, forget about in a flat where I live in Chennai. Honestly, I tell you, I do not know who's my neighbor. And that is the environment I'm living in now. So what happened? One fine day, I took myself an initiative and went and introduced myself. And after that, he has not even spoken. But as and when I see, I just wish him, he will wish and go on. So the relationship, what we are talking about, the interpersonal relationship, what we are talking about, in everywhere we talk about that. This is the first opening statement that hello, how are you? Have a nice time, nice day, good day. So those are the basic courtesy salutations that we need to follow on. I'm good, happy that somebody has responded that they do that. That's excellent. Others also, I know that they will be doing, probably they wouldn't have put it anyway. Now, moving on to this particular greeting, probably I would be taking very short hours, but it's very interesting session, I think. Yeah, when I talk about social etiquette, etiquette is again a code of polite conduct. How do I conduct myself in a very polite manner? Right? So know the proper etiquette before entering into a social situation to avoid embarrassments or awkwardness. So this is one example which I can talk about. What happened? This is the practical which I've seen during the pandemic time. One of my close friends' father has collapsed because of this pandemic. So they didn't even hand it over the body to us. So my friend was totally frustrated and rejected everything. Then all this rituals, rites, everything was over. Then 3-4 days later, a gentleman came there. He just walked inside the house and said, my friend's father name is Mr. Vasudevan. Where is Vasu? The tone was like this. And already the houses are fully filled with grief in the morning. And this man walked in and said, where is Vasu? Where has he gone? My God, the tonal has made everybody to take on aback. So we need to know how to manage all those things before, even if I may not know that such situation has happened. But the moment when I get into the house, somebody's house, should I need to have some politeness? Yes? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's most important. But the way the tonal, no, the vocal cord came out, as such, something has happened. And finally, I just took them out and then I told them that this is what happened. No, I came to know that. Now I just want to come and inquire. What is this? When you come for the situation, when you have come to inquire or to share the grief, you should know how to behave, right? Make sense? What I say makes sense?
Yes.
Do I?
Yes.
No, he says he's my good friend, but I don't know how to behave. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most unpleasant situation that we had. That is very thing. And the next social thing is when there is a get together, when there is a meeting, when there is a public function. Now I'll tell you, my dear friends, there are so many people the other side of mine. I just wanted to know. Recently, we celebrated Republic Day, and definitely, whichever the locality you are there, you are whether the flats or the society or the public park, they would have invited you for the flag hoisting and thing. Honestly, tell me, how many of you have reached on time? Is there anybody?
Yes.
Lovely. But you know what happened? Near my house, there was one public park. They invited everybody, and I just to mark my respect, I went there, and everybody was gathered, and the flag hoisting was not happening. It didn't happen. Then we were asking what happened. No, no, no. The guest had to come. The guest had to come, and you have been given an importance. The guest I'm talking about. You have been given an importance. You have been invited. You are going to do that mark of respect. Should you not be on time? That's the biggest thing. And the next one is your grooming sense is very, very essential. There should be a good grooming, and it is very, very essential for us. And the same gentleman who came for the flag hoisting, he came with a torn jeans with a white shirt, just because he had a khadi shirt. Yes, I lost my patience, rather the calmness. No, when now tell me how many of us now every day there is a Vande Mataram song is played here. How many of us get out of the chair and stand and mark our respect here? If we don't mark also, at least as rightly said by Mr. Mohan, if not, at least should we have the basic courtesy of switching off the video? Ladies and gentlemen, please understand, it is not to blame anybody. I'm talking about how people behave in this. Then always take smile. Always have a smile on your face. And when you talk with the people, please do have an eye-to-eye contact. Have a, when you look at the eyes, you can pass on that positive vibes. Such a lovely thing that we can. And when we do a handshake, are we really doing? And when I say are we, please understand, I'm not blaming here the people who's sitting here, other side. In a common context, I'm telling. When I say are we, it is everybody. Please don't take anybody as a personal. It's a word of disclaimer, please. So when we do the handshaking should be very firm. And how is my voice now? Is my voice is coming very rude, or my voice is coming polite? Hello, Mr. Mohan?
When you are talking about that jeans gentleman, your voice was very harsh.
Okay. Who
Because
says?
you are not tolerant about him.
Yeah, see now what happened, when we are not comfortable with certain things, what happened, automatically the emotions comes out, right? But that is communicated only through our vocal cord or our facial expressions. That is why we always say when we give a handshake, have an eye-to-eye contact, so that you can transform these positive vibes with a very warmth looking, and a firm hand holding the hands. And when I talk slowly, what happened? It goes very, very well. What is that I'm trying to communicate? So let us learn that when I speak, even in the virtual platform, when I speak, I need to know what should be the intensity, what should be the decibels of my words, so that because every decibel increase, the impact and the meaning of the word changes. So we have to be very, very careful on it. So speak slowly and clearly. And the most and the very simplest gratitude, the most and very important and simplest gratitude is when you depart from the people, please do greet. Have a nice evening, wonderful weekend. No, that always, no, as we always say, no, in any presentation or public speaking, we always say the opening and the end only will stay longer in the listener's mind. So we need to be that. So start giving greetings on that, right? And when I talk about the importance of introduction, please do understand the gender plays a very, very important, because this is a social etiquette, right? When I talk about a social etiquette, again, it talks about more of the gender bias. So every city, every state, every place has got a different culture. It is most important for us to understand that the gender sense. When I go and meet somebody in United States, there it is something different. But when I come to the very traditional part of India, particularly in South India, then my behavior should be totally different. And here I would like to know how many of you have practiced or still practicing, but addressing the people by names. Yeah? Am I getting some?
Yes, we have
Yes.
they have a response from Vishwanathan.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sambandam and Mr. Anantakrishnan.
Yeah. Please do address. Why should we address people by name? Any reason? Why should we address people with the names? And please do permit me to say
Chidambaram, sir. I'm Chidambaram. Is the sweetest thing for any person. My name, and I'm told in a public forum. I'm very happy.
very good, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Chidambaram, sir. Thanks for coming. Also, thank you very much. Any other? Any other? Any other? Any other person who can share your thoughts?
It gives a better connect. It gives a better connect.
Okay, that's good.
And also intimate.
Exactly, that is that. No, that intimacy is created. No, when that intimacy comes, no, obviously what happens? There are a lot of unwanted inhibition is totally shutted off, so that no, the kind of easiness creates more. Yeah, that is good. Very good, sir. Thanks for answering my question. Thank you very much. Now moving on to the next, right? When I start introduction, please remember this. In a public forum, in a business conference, or wherever it is the most unacceptable is failing to introduce people in a business situation. And it is termed as an unprofessional way. So when there are two people or three people are meeting, there are two people already known, the third person is there. It is the first courtesy that the third person need to be introduced to the second person. That's most important. Otherwise, no, two people will be talking on so many things. The third person will be left like an abandoned. He will find no connect with that. But once you start getting introduced and get along with that, no, then the total environment becomes, and probably he can act a lot of contributions. He can contribute for all our expectations or the needs. And when somebody comes to your seat, and they say that, hello, I'm Ravichandran, or when Mr. Mohan comes to my seat and say that, hello, Ravi, I'm Mohan, the simple thing is I must stand out of my chair. It's a mark of respect. And when I handshake with them or when I talk to them, please, this is again emphasizing the eye contact should be there and a gentle smile. By the way, anybody tell me what this smile word talks about? Can anyone tell me what is that? Smile, smile, everybody talks about. What is a smile is all about? Hello? Anyone?
Yeah, basically
it's the longest word.
Sorry, sir, one at a time, please.
Yeah, it's the longest word.
Okay, longest. Okay, then anybody? Anybody? Any other person?
It's
Any other
basically
person?
joy.
It's a joy. Okay, good. That's an excellent. Anything?
Smile says, I'm your friend. I like you.
Okay, good. I like you too, sir. Yeah. Then anybody? Okay, now I'll give you something different. No, the same, whatever you said is absolutely right and great. But I have designed, rather I've seen this smile is an acronym. an acronym. When I meet somebody,
Confidence level will increase.
Beautiful, sir. Excellent. Well said. Yeah. Anything more? Very well, sir.
Sir, smile is accepting a person.
Lovely, sir. That's excellent. That is how we do get accept people, and we are accepted by the people. Yes, you are right. Anything more?
Happiness around.
Very good, sir. Very good. Thank you. Now I'll tell you SMILE. I just formed a acronym on this. It S stands for, SMILE stands for sell more, incur less expense. Sell more. It sells you more with the people. It sells you more with the people without any expenses. Incur less expenses. Now, what is this expenses I'm talking about is? Now, in general context, people do say that when you're frozen, when you're angered, there are 72 nerves of your face. When you're angered, there are 72 nerves of your face loses its energy. But when you smile, only 14 nerves loses its energy. Only 14 veins. Which is better, sir? It is 17 or 14? 72 or 14? Is it 72 or 14? Which is better?
Naturally 72.
Is 72 is better? Is
14.
72? 14 is better, no? Because 72 veins losing its energy, what happened? Your face will become dull because you are furious, you are angry. People would never like to look at your face, and all your veins becomes loosen up, so that what happens? There will be a lot of wrinkles. If you can see, go and see the people, those who often get an anger or something, you can comfortably identify whether this person is a short temper or will he get anger by seeing their face, because most of their face, the veins would have been loosened up, a lot of wrinkles would have started at an younger age. So that's what the psychology says, or the mathematics thing. It has 72 nerves losing its energy, 14 nerves losing its energy. Which is better?
14.
14, obviously, yes. So that is why I said sell more, incur less expense. I spend less energy, but I sell more among the people so that I influence and win friends. I get a lot of friends here. Then when I smile, no, the smile should not be different. No, smile. I don't know how many of you know that there are 108 varieties of smiles on it. 108 varieties. But in predominant use, there are only 3. Okay, anyway, that is altogether a different topic. But I'll just tell you, when these are the 3 smiles are predominantly in use, out of them, one is called a business smile, which is I need to get something comfortable or get to done with something. At that time, I'll smile and then I'll vanish. But smile, how should we smile is the smile should be like a born child or a young infant. How without any inhibition or any biases or any prejudice, it smiles. No, we need to smile like that. Similarly, when I give a handshake, the way I give my handshake, it communicates how confident I am. How confident I am. What kind of a positive vibes that I can pass on to you, the transforming vibes. So that needs to be taken care of. So when I do this introduction of the person, whether it's person or the other self or the other person, I need to be very, very careful. If there is a third person among this, we need the basic courtesy, the basic etiquette is we need to get to know or get introduced the other person. Always when somebody comes to us, we have to raise. This is what in our elder, in my childhood days, this is what taught. I'm sure every one of you there must have learned this, right? Then look into the eyes and smile and give a firm handshake. Now moving on further, so this is what, no, this is a picture which I was talking about, right? Okay, now, when I talk about handshake is a gesture of acceptance and welcome. So extend your right hand. Always, I'm going to show you the pictures. I don't know whether you are able to see my hands. This is my right hand, this is the other person, but I do know these 2 webs need to be connected well. This thumb and thumb need to be locked very well. It should be locked like this. I'll show you that. Handshake is a gesture of acceptance and welcome. Extend your right hand, web to web, fingers to fingers. Give a slight pressure. Grasp the other person's hand firmly and completely. Look into the eyes and smile again. The biggest etiquette is always this one, eyes and smile. Release the hand in 3 seconds. But never ever refuse to accept someone's hand. So this is something, if someone gives an hand, particularly of course now in pandemic period, yes, that was restricted. But even otherwise, what happened? When somebody is extended, somebody will say namaste. When they say namaste, you will extend. That mismatch should not happen. So that's where it is solved. Moving on. See, these are the postures. Or when the receiver hand is down and the giver hand is up, that means it communicates the giver wants to take you control. When it is the vice versa, then what happens? The receiver wants to take the control. One is a giving control, the other one is a taking control. Then shaking like a professional. All these times, I remember this was the talk many a times. Once Mr. Musharraf and Mr. Vajpayee, mates Prime Minister of India, their handshakes were well spoken in all across the world. That was a fantastic handshake. That is what the gestures and the etiquettes were spoken about. Right? I'm sure these pictures were coming. Is there anyone have any doubt on this, or is it clear?
Clear.
Yeah, thank you. I can proceed. So this is the, again, pandemic period. This is not only pandemic, whenever it is important. Because of this corona is the talk of the world. I just put it here. But otherwise, what happened? These are all the basic etiquettes. These are all the very basic etiquettes. Don't have an open cough. Don't put your hands across when you cough, because the virus might spread on your hands also. So always wear a mask or have a hanky. Please always cover your mouth full when you are, whether it's you sneeze or a cough, whatever it is, cover your mouth full, or else always use your elbow to protect that, so that what happens, it doesn't spread across. So this is very, very important, particularly in this time, because this is how we got infected with lots. Moving on further. I've done with social etiquettes. Is there any questions or any clarification that I need to address before I move into a business etiquette? Any doubts or any clarifications you'd like to have?
There is a question from Pushpa.
Yeah.
Like how to change the giving control handshake situation.
Oh, that is exactly lovely question. Please remind me once I come onto the video, I can demonstrate it. Otherwise, I have to stop my share and then I come. So is that fine if I answer this question at the end?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So any other questions, Mr. Mohan? Hello?
Yeah, otherwise people, participants say it is clear.
Okay, I can proceed further.
Yeah.
Now moving on to the business etiquette. So when I talk about business etiquette, please remember it is a whole gamut of things. There are so many things involved in that. And please, ladies and gentlemen, remember within the given time, I would not be able to cover everything, but I would be covering about the tips of the iceberg, right? Only the tip of the iceberg, which I'm going to talk about. The first one is I'm going to talk about why business etiquette. Why business etiquette? It differentiates you from others in the competitive world. It shows you somewhere different, a distinction that is something different. It enables you to be confident and a variety of settings with a variety of people. No, I start changing my behavior or my approach with based on the people's behavior. and I cannot have a very rigid kind of things. It modifies distracting behaviors and develops admired conduct. The way I conduct myself, it talks about it. Then it exhibits the professionalism and develops a polished image. Always know when see, I'll tell you now, when I talk about my dress, people say that grooming etiquette, but this all comes again from my attitude. The way my attitude says that is the way I dress. The example which I was talking about, the flaglasting day, the gentleman guest. So moving on to the next, the importance of business etiquette, we would be covering these many tips. One is about how to participate in a meeting. What are all the etiquettes that I need to learn and exhibit or practice while I'm in the meeting? Then every one of us, this is the order of the day now. Every one of us are going to talk about or rather doing this email etiquette. Then this is further. It is not only the professionals, even everybody uses the etiquette of on telephone. How do I behave? I don't know how many of you are. I have almost every day I experience this. When I travel in the public train, the electric units, and people do use, they don't use their headphones. They keep all the songs very louder, and excuse me, it distracts, rather it defocuses my attention also. Whatever the work I'm supposed to do, rather, whatever it is. Then it is talking about your dressing, and it is also how do we behave in our dining table, dining etiquette in the public. How do we behave in a buffet? All those things. Then what kind of a etiquette that I should follow when you do my networking? Then how do I exchange my business? How do I exchange my business card? These are all this. These are the things that I would be covering upon. So moving on further, the meeting etiquette, the first and foremost is when I called for a meeting, it is most important thing that I need to prepare and go where. I need to prepare well first. There are so many official meetings would have been called up. We know that there is a particular day at the particular meeting, or we are here. But generally, our people come with full prepare. That preparedness was missing. That should not happen. And when you go for a meeting, whether depends upon the occasion or the kind of a meeting, your dressing should also be there. Dress well, and please remember, arrive in time. Switch off your mobile phone. It is the biggest help that anyone can do to anybody. Otherwise, what happened? You would have also seen people, there is a serious discussion would be happening here. Somebody would be doing either a WhatsApping or a Facebook or some messaging chat would be going on. So that is a highly distracting attention. So I'll not be able to understand what is happening there. That I need to be very, very careful of that. Seating patterns, particularly this is most important in a very profiled crowd. Every seat will be having that. We need to know where we need to sit. If we are not sure of, it is better, nothing wrong in asking. Seating patterns is most important that we need to learn. Then when in the discussion, during the meeting, what happens? I should allow my seniors to come out first. So please remember, my dear friends, it is not only senior. Generally, I say that if I start talking without knowing what the other people anticipate or expectation or what they have, then I would be miserably killing their time. If I could hear it from them first, probably to the question I can answer, rather I can act upon. So I need to be very, very careful on the allow always senior people to talk. When I say senior, please remember it is not only age or anything, the position also it matters. But always remember, if you are the senior, you initiate the talk and then start and elicit from others. Elicit from others. So that what happened? I don't know. I don't want to name a person here, but I know this gentleman is. He impressed me only with this. I had a discussion with this person about this particular thing. Then the gentleman told me that, you know how I do. He said, whatever I want my people to do, or whatever the things that I should get it done from my people, first of all, I ask them to come and give in a writing. Just give it to me. Then I'll see, read, prepare, and then I will start pointing only in those areas so that it makes the meeting time comfortably, very, very comfort, minimize the timing, and a very precise discussion, and the results are as to the point, as expected as. Is that make sense, my dear friends? Is that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that saves a lot of time, right? That saves a lot of energy, and that can add a lot of productivity also for us. So make all those things. These are the very basic fundamental meeting etiquettes. Moving on this itself. Now, what happened when I talk about when somebody is talking? When somebody is talking, please do not interrupt. Never interrupt anyone. You may not be liking, you may have a disagreement on that particular point, but still allow them. Let them complete first. What happened? Even this even happens at a house also. Whether your son or your daughter wanted to say something, but within the half of the information, you were able to guess what they are trying to communicate, and immediately we stopped it. We may not be knowing the second of that particular discussion unless we allow them to complete it. Am I right? Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let us gorge in. Now I would like to ask you one question, friends. Right? I just want you to understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all. I stopped here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all. I stopped here. So, what was running in your mind? Can anyone one or two share with me? I said, I want you all. Then I stopped. What was running in your mind?
Keep silent.
Keep silent. Okay, good. Is there anything?
Expect a question from you.
Yeah, okay, expect a question. Okay, good. Then
Ready for an activity.
Ready for an activity. Very good. Yeah. Any other?
A possible question.
A possible question. See, now I have not completed. I didn't complete it at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all, I stop. Then whatever came into your mind, you filled in that place, balance place, empty place. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a good or a danger?
It's dangerous.
Because we do not know what is going to be next. So, when I interrupt in between, or if I give a long pause, either way it is a danger. When I interrupt, what you wanted to share, probably you may not share because I digressed your focus. Or I gave a long pause. Now I have given enough time for you to fill in the blanks, whatever comes in your mind. This is not right in a meeting. Allow the speaker. Whenever you have a question or whenever you have a doubt, there are two ways to put it. Right? One is first write your question, because until you wait for completion, you might forget the question what you wanted to ask. Whatever the question comes in your mind first, better put it on a sheet of paper and park it aside. That is one way, so that we can get the answer, the question is answered, so that we can have a clear of doubt. One. The second one is, suppose if it is in a virtual platform like this, what happens? You write your question. In the meantime, there is a hand raising symbol in your participant list. Just put your hand there. The moment the hand raises, until the host disables that, it stays there only. So we can definitely raise, and we have already written the question. We can ask so that the meeting is not disturbed, the speaker flow is not disturbed. At the same time, my question is also answered. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in speaking, be brief and relevant. There are so many people I have seen, because I have participated in so many webinars, the people will start asking a question. The question itself will take 3 to 4 minutes. By the time the first what he started of why he wanted to ask, he himself will forget, and then the respondent will also have a confusion. So always have your questions brief, or whatever the message you wanted to give it in a brief, and ensure that it is relevant to the point or to the situation or the occasion. Let us not beat around the bush. Let it be like. Then always, this is the utmost important etiquette is when there is a meeting, when I address the people, it is most important is I cannot have a crisscross communication with the fellow members of the board or the meeting. It is always the marked respect of the decorum is all the questions need to be routed to the chair. Only the chair will be the transmitter. He will receive and transmit. This is what we call it as protocol actually. And maintain discussions confidentially. All your discussions, whatever is discussed within the four walls, it need to be kept. That is the utmost etiquette. What happened the moment I complete the meeting, I go out and I will talk. Someone will come and say, what happened to the meeting? Then probably I don't want to tell, or rather I want to give him only hint. So what happened? I will start building so many stories. The communication, no, I'm sure most of you must be knowing that Chinese whisper kind. What was discussed, and moreover, no, the belief, the confidentiality is revealed out. Means what? You are no more a trustworthy person. You cannot be trusted upon. So I do have, when I am a participant of a meeting, I do have my responsibility. The utmost responsibility is maintaining my confidentiality. That is most important. Right. Moving further, these are the sitting posture in a meeting. When I sit in the meeting, how do I sit? What posture I follow? See, on the first top three pictures, what I have shown is thinking or taking care of your health conditions. How should when you are not, your body is not supporting for sitting a long hours, then you will not be comfortably sitting there. Instead, you will be keep on moving, juggling all those things. That will be a distraction for you as well as to the person. So there should be a method. So I'm sure these pictures would self-explanatory that how should you sit so that how you can comfortably understand and attend and participate in the meeting. Similarly, when you come to the below pictures, see each, I'm sure everybody talks about body language. Each body language talks about it. The way you are sitting and participating in the meeting, it communicates what kind of an approach that you have. Right? Moving on further. Okay. Here we spoke about the business meeting etiquette. Now we will move on to the email etiquette. When I talk about email, what is this? What is the importance for this, friends? Can anyone help me? What is the importance of this email etiquette? Is it really needed? Actually, in earlier days, we never had this.
Proper short communication.
Okay. Sorry. Anybody?
Especially needed in a business communication.
Okay. Email comes into the business communication. Okay. Anybody? Any other person?
Chidambaram, here it must meet the desired response. The expected result should come.
Okay. When I send, I have some expectation and the desire need to be fulfilled. Yeah. Good. Anything?
Very brief. Very brief.
Yeah. Mail should be very brief. Okay. Now, thanks for all your participation.
The thing is, Ravichandran, reply in the same mail where the person has sent the mail. It should be in one sequence, continue till the communication is continuing.
The task gets over. Yeah. So that the continuity of information continues there. That's what Mr. Suresh likes to say that. Right. Coming on this, thank you very much for all your responses, keeping me encouraged and motivated. Okay, good. Now moving on to this. When I talk about email etiquette, it is new. Why do I say new? Because every time it is keep on evolving. The rules are evolving. The systems are improving. So what happened a couple of years back, the method what you followed is no more here now. Now the things have changed. So it is continuously evolving system. The rules are evolving because of an increased use of emails. Some general rules of etiquette should be observe. What is that? First is when I write an email, please understand in the business environment, it is absolutely professional. The mail should also be the professional way of handling. And it is not only professional, the way you communicate, it proves your efficiency. It should be efficient. And it talks about your responsibility, the liabilities, it is a proof of that. Proof. So when I put, and we all know that email can be referred at any point of time, even in the later date. So it talks about the proof of the evidence. So I need to be very, very careful on those areas. So that's why I say that it needs to be professional and it is an efficient and it is liability based. Going further, when, as somebody said, brief, yes, when I write a mail, it cannot have a too long sentences and you cannot write all the stories. You need to be very precise to the point. So your communication need to be very brief and to the point. And most important is we need to be careful with the grammatical. It should be grammatically appropriate. And when again I'm repeating this word, make it when it is a personal, when I communicate it, though it is professional, though it is official, but when it talks about, it also talks about your personal levels. And this is the another one thing is avoid using BCC and CC unnecessarily. Sorry, there is one more C as written. Okay, CCC. Yeah. And always have a standard, a validated or approved or templates, use templates for a particular responses, which is very often you continue to ask. Just a while ago, Suresh was talking about a series of communication happens. There should be an appropriate templates. And when I ask for a question, I need to be answered swiftly and use a meaningful subject. I get at least 4 or 5 mails every day without the subject line. The moment I see the mail without a subject line, I directly straight away delete. I don't even read. If I don't have time to put or communicate what is there in the subject line, that communicates. That does about 15-20% of my job. That there only it's over. Moving on further, when there is a mail, read the email before you send it. When you are drafting a mail, the moment you draft now, we dispatch. I know particularly in the office, 11th hour informations or 11th hour pressures, we do this. But whatever said and done, it is important for us to understand and draft, read, validate, check everything, and then it is better to dispatch. And do not add too many attachments. Have a simple attachment. But if your file is very, very big, what happened? You would have attached in the mail, you would have clicked, it can also show that it is sent, but it will never reach to the receiver. The receiver will be waiting. If your file size is something bigger than 25 MB or something like that, I would always recommend you to use a concept called a V-transfer or Google Drive, some of the things that you can use that, so that what happens, your material, your message, your content is protected and safe. And please do not use any abbreviations here. If it is so, you have to be very, very careful. Take care with abbreviations and emotions. And when you are doing the text rich form, HTML messages and all, you have to be very, very careful. And I need not tell you what is this active voice and passive voice, and you need to know that how to use this. Those are very, very important tools for an email. Yeah. Can I proceed further? Yes. Mr. Mohan, how much time I can go further?
Yeah, I think you can go ahead.
I can go, right. Okay. Now, before moving to telephone etiquette, any questions you may have on the parking list, I would love to address that. Then moving on to the telephonic etiquette. First is, this is most important, sir. We call many people and immediately say hello, and they will start talking. Unless you are very, very familiar, it is difficult for the people to identify who's speaking. So always remember, when we are initiating a call, it is most important etiquette is we need to introduce ourselves, identify us. And when I started speaking, first I need to understand the purpose of the call need to be communicated. Clarify the basic nature of your call. That is most important, and then you continue on. But I'm sure every one of us, the other side, including me, have suffered a lot from this. All the marketing people, they will call straight away. Yesterday, I received a call from HDFC Bank. They started asking, they started speaking a very big Hindi statement. I said, come on, hold on, yaar. What is that you are trying to communicate? I don't understand. Bolo, kya bolte? No, I could not follow what they are saying. And I said, okay. Then he says, which language you are comfortable? Now, why don't we get it done in the first itself? So that the communication will be smooth and safe. And I said, I don't like to get communicated with you at all. I disconnected. Because when I do this, no, I'm playing with somebody's emotion. I do not know what is the urgency that they are in. Unless knowing that if I call and harass them like this without telling the nature or the name or the purpose, it is quite annoying. Am I right? I'm sure every one of you have experienced this. Am I right? Right in saying so?
Yes.
Similarly, if someone calls you, and there is one more important thing I would like to tell you is, when you are calling somebody, just keep a time, like give a 3 rings, only 3. Third ring, if the call is not picked up, understand the person is busy. The person is busy. So don't go to 4th call, ring, 5th ring, something like that. 3rd, at the maximum 4th ring, you should be disconnecting. And the other person knows the purpose of the person who's calling. Definitely they will call you back. If not, if you are calling a new person, you do not know, you are going to meet him or talking to him first time. If the call is not picked up by 3rd ring, better you send a message saying that, hello sir, good afternoon, good morning, good night, whatever it is, I'm so and so. This is the purpose that I called you. Please feel free to tell me what time you are available so that I can call you back. Don't say that, please call me as and when you are free. So it is a burden for him. Please just communicate me when you are free so that I can call you back. That shows some responsibility as well as the commitment. Similarly, when there is a call comes to you, this is the basic. If you are not in a position to pick up the call, please do have someone. Please do have someone to answer the call. Still, if it is not possible, don't worry. The moment you come, the moment you see, if you are not in a position to call, thank you for calling. I'm a bit busy. Is that fine if I call you sometime? Fix the time. Or if you're having a leisure or a time to stop, then I'm sorry, I missed your call. It is not, people generally talk like this. No, sorry, you gave me a missed call. How is that possible? I missed the call. I didn't pick up. The person has called me. So what happened? Sorry, sir, I missed your call. May I know who's this or is that regarding? So let us try to have that kind of etiquette. And when you are in a conference, when you are in a meeting, when you are in your business task, the important task, please do avoid phone calls. Particularly if you are a business environment or a salesperson, when you are in front of a customer or with your customer, please do avoid all phone calls. And if you feel that it is very, very important, take permission from the customer. Can I take this call, sir, with your permission? And that would be the best etiquette that the customer, you create a lot of confidence about you, the way you are professionalism, and automatically you get into the liking zone of the customer. So have into that particular thing, right? Next, identify yourself, which we have already spoken about. Address the caller by his name, which we have already spoken. It's a recap like, keep conversation brief and never be impatient. Just a while ago, I was talking about the HDFC person. I absolutely become an impatient because I just allowed him to speak for 2 minutes. And this guy was content, didn't even bother whether I'll be able to understand or not. So we have to be very, very careful on that. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. What happened? Many a times we attend phone calls, but our hand will be dawdling. We will be talking with somebody doing something else. So what happened? The fullest attention of the concentration on the discussion may not happen. So we have to be there. And when the person speaks, please do not interrupt. All of them has this also be discussed earlier. Or do not eat or chew something while speaking on phone. Keep something. No, I'm sure most of you know. I was in Mumbai for some time, and I do have good friends of Mumbai, Maharashtrians, and they used to use a lot of corn and other things. They used to chew, and they will be talking. And 25% of the language also you cannot understand. So those are all. I know, ladies and gentlemen, these are all very well known to you. I am not here to teach you all, rather tell you that I'm just polishing. There is some amount of dust is placed on that. Now I'm cleaning it so that all our etiquettes becomes brighter. Right? Moving on further. If I wish to put the caller on hold, this is most important many a times without even taking the permission. So always remember that take the permission, sir, if you don't mind. There is an emergency call. Can you be online for a few minutes or 1 minute? No, don't say 1 second and you take 5 minutes. So very, very annoying. So take permission and then do the so. Close your conversation with an appropriate salutation. That is most important. Thank you. The discussion. And if possible, if you can recap the communication, that would be an excellent. And please do not disconnect or hang up the phone until the caller hangs it up. Maybe the caller wanted to say something before that we would have disconnected. And again, he would be calling, sorry, sir, before I tell you disconnect. Or many times we'll know, no, I think you wanted to say something, I'm sorry. So that is, cutting a sorry face with them. Not needed. So let the caller hang up first. In case of missed call, this also we have already spoken, return the call within the reasonable period of time. If someone calls you by mistake, yes, this happens very often. Inform the caller politely that he reached the wrong number. But please remember, no, your mood is also plays a bit. Whatever it is, we need to be very, very careful. So any questions about the telephonic etiquette? Yes, it's time for you to keep your questions parked. Then we are moving on to the next, which is called about dining etiquette. Friends, before I move in, I would like to ask a question. How many of you have participated in the buffet parties or the wedding reception where the dining counter is with a buffet? What was your observation when the people were there? Can anyone share their experience?
People piling up food.
Sorry. May I know
People piling. This is Annette here.
Yeah.
I have seen people piling up food on their plates.
Exactly. Yeah. Any other observation?
Sir, I am Gopi Krishnan.
Yeah, Gopi Krishnan. Yeah.
People wanted to consume each and every item.
Yes. Very good. Yeah, good observation. Any other?
And they want to go first. They go fast.
Good. Very good, sir. Good. They wanted to be the first one so that they don't miss any of the menu list. Yes. Yeah.
Many people don't follow the proper queue.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wastage of food.
Absolutely, sir. This is most important observation. This is what I was trying to elicit from you all. People ask they pile up every food. They don't know whether they like it or not, whether the taste will match them. I mean, like that or whatever it is. They fill everything and absolutely they go on waste. So there should be some etiquette that how we need to follow on. Before that, we'll see what are all the components it talks about us. So when you get into the particular 5-star hotel kind of ambience, And I'm sure your table would have been designed like this. Am I right? Yeah. Your dining table would have been decorated.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
But many of us do not know what to use where and how. Correct? What spoon to be used for what? All those things are most important. In the center plate, there is a napkin. Can anyone tell me why it is placed there?
To be placed on your lap?
Yeah. To take and first cover our lap, because no, they are giving the food may be tasty. Because of that, we may get overexcited. It may spill over and our dress might get dirt. Or so that the first thing is the restaurant or the hotel people have a great courtesy with us. That's it. It should not be spoiled. First, they keep that napkin.
Mr. Ravi, it must be kept on the left lap.
Sorry,
Mostly.
sir.
It must
Sorry,
be kept
sir?
on the left lap.
No, fine, sir. Actually, here what happened, it will be kept on the plate. Once you take and put it on your lap, it can be done like that also. Anyway, thanks for that adding information. Yeah, and moving on, no, there is every spoon and the fork is placed in such a way, the glasses are placed. We need to understand this system. Without knowing this, no, we'll just go and juggle everything. Juggle everything. And that's where the problem comes. Right, moving on next. Don't eat with your full mouth full. We put everything and then seeing a very awkward visual that no, we don't chew the food properly. We put everything into the mouth, a gulp like, and then we don't chew it properly. We swallow it, and if it gets stuck, then we will with that itself we'll put some water, push that. Have you experienced all these things? Have you seen people doing like this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So those are all a very, very uncomfortable environment that we are creating. Keep one hand on your lap unless you are eating the European style. No? Don't use both unless if it is European continental something. If all others can be used only in the one hand. And I know, I have one of my friend, a very good friend of mine right from my school days. Every time he comes to Chennai, we both will go to a restaurant. Now he will order something. And before I complete the first or half of it, he would have completed the full. I don't know. Your bus is somewhere late here. Your train is late. Why? No. This is how I'm practiced. No, that may be your practice, but parallelly you are also insulting the other person. You cannot be so such. So go in a very moderate speed. Try to maintain a polite dinner conversation. When you're doing a conversation, there are two things we must remember. When I converse, I should not eat. When I eat, I'm not supposed to speak. When there is a food stuff in my mouth, I'm not supposed to speak. Otherwise, you know what happens. Then this is I've seen many people. No, I'm a diabetic. Before food, I have to take tablets. And that should not be performed in the dining table. That should have been done separate. Never ever medicate yourself on the table. By any chance, whatever the reasons, if you happen to move out of the table, the best thing is keep your napkin on the chair. Position it. If you are totally excusing, then put your spoon and fork in such a way and keep the napkin on the chair and you can excuse yourself for the permission of everyone. And those are the very, very basic and important dining etiquettes. And coming to the grooming etiquette, I need not tell you, all of you are professionals here, but it is only a recap for when you dress, it should give you a professional look. Dress for the part, simple, but with class. So don't have a depends upon the occasion where you are going. If you are going for a disco party and something, you can wear a jazzy dress, but not professional conferences or a meeting, something like that. And please ensure that you groomed well. It's most important. Moving further, please do take care of your haircuts, clean. properly, clean your nails, skin and cheek, and many professionals wear makeup, and it depends upon the field or the people. But please ensure no, it is not too much of glittering, too much of heavy jewelry, or too much of makeup or the thing. And similarly, take care of your body odor also. It is important. When you are taking, the kind of a perfume you apply is also matters a lot. So we have to be very, very careful on that. Check fragrances and clothing care. Yeah. Going further, should give a very professional work attire if you are in a professional arena. So these are the basics, casual dresses. These are the dress code. You need to know formal, informal, all those things. Where, what, where, all those things. These are all self-explanatory, so that I'm not spending much time on that. Moving further, this is the networking, most important. The first and foremost is when we travel together, how many of us are moving out of our own people, the comfort zone? Are we mingling with others, the strangers, the first time meeters? Are we mingling with new people? Are we spending time with them?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's, yeah. And don't travel with your own friends or your own group, and don't be comfortable only with them. Move out of your comfort zone. Create new environment and new friends. Right? I'll tell you one of my best example. Once I was doing a program at Hyderabad, and due to some reason, I have to cut off my program and start early. So the previous day, my flight was on the last day, but due to some personal problem or other, somebody was not well, so I have to cancel my flight ticket and I have to rush. So there was a train there. So through Tatkal, somebody has organized. I got into the two-tier AC. I got inside. But with all this hurry, you know what happened? I forgot to have my dinner, rather to carry my dinner also. I was seriously looking for somewhere. No, I was also feeling very hungry because I just moved out of directly from the classroom. I got into the train. You can understand after once you complete your session how tiring you will be. So I was desperately looking for. Unfortunately, I could get nothing. But there was a co-passenger who was from Dubai, who came here to see his in-laws place and all. He was returning back to Chennai. From here he's going. So this gentleman said, sorry, slowly, there were couples actually. They started talking slowly then. And since I can also speak Telugu, and slowly we conversed in local language. Then I said, what is that you're going? I mean, they asked me, what is that you're going to do for your dinner? I said, no, probably I'm looking for the next station where I can. No, the next station when it reaches, no, you'll get nothing. Don't worry. Be comfortable. We have brought extra food. And they shared. And you know what happened? This has happened somewhere about 9 years back. Even today, we are good friends. If I am right, if I am sure, the particular person might also be in this crowd. Yes, Maithili Srinivasan is there. Yes, Maithili is there. She sent me a message. I will join today from Dubai. Anyway, thank you very much. So even today, the friendship, the continuation happens, and I could do a lot of counseling for family, and they could. When I met with an accident, Mr. Srinivasan all the way came down from Dubai and met me in the house. So see, one small conversation has created such a big bondage, right? Such a fantastic that. So don't go confined only with your comfort zone. Move out and create new zones. Contribute positively to the conversation with your thoughts and open-ended questions. Always ask open-ended questions. Don't try and point out something. No, let the questions be generic so that you can elicit so much in detail about it. And never ever monopolize. Never ever monopolize. Sometime what happened? give some time also for them. No, most of us, what happened, we are happy to listen our own voice, like Arnab Goswami. Now, we ask question and allow them to speak so that no, always have a role called, play a role called listener. People will start loving you. If appropriate, collect business cards. Then if you are departing, moving out, politely excuse yourself and move on to the another individuals. So this or that. Then the last and the very important is, how do I share my business card? How do I share my business card? Do we carry our card? Do we carry, do you all carry your business card?
Yes.
How many of you carry your business card? Is there one or two who can give me answer? I would like to have a 30 seconds to 1 minute conversation with the gentleman or whoever carries here. Is there anyone who can help me?
Hi, Mr. Ravi.
Yeah, who's this gentleman? Suresh. Suresh, do you carry your business card, Suresh?
I actually have a business card pouch. I don't carry free normally cards in my pocket, but I have a pouch for it, which is kept inside the bag. And when I meet the customer, I open the pouch, take the card with both hands, I give it.
Thank you, sir. Before I asking the question, Suresh gave me every answer. That's very good. Is there any other person? Is there any other person? Thank you, Suresh, for your lovely answer. Is there any other person who can share with me? Hello?
Yes. Ravi, this is... Hello.
Yeah, please.
This is CK Vishwanathan. Tell me. No. Yes.
Yeah. You carry your business card with CKV?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Where do you keep your card, CKV?
Generally in the front pocket.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. So I know there are so many people always keep their business card in their wallets, and which will be kept in the back pocket. In front of the audience, the person, he will pull out the wallet and take out the card, and they will give. While giving, all the edges of the card would have been folded, and it will be that. So that will determine the image and the value of myself and my business. So that need to be. Thank you very much, CKV, for your response. So nice. So those are the most important. That is the point which I'm talking about. Always have a business card, have it in a good shape, and please do remember it need to be updated. Yesterday I met a person. Who's the regional sales manager of one of the very, very renowned sales house, and he gave me his card. I request someone to mute. Yeah, thank you very much for understanding. So this gentleman, I met him, then immediately, oh, I'm so and so, and I'm into this business. Come on, take this card. You can always contact me, whatever requirements. I said, oh, that's excellent. Then I was just reading the business card. The business card was addressed at Mumbai, right? Andheri and Mumbai, all these things. Then I said, oh, you are in Mumbai. Good, Andheri, I know. I was living there for some time. Then immediately said, no, I was in Andheri. Now I am in Madurai. My God, where is Andheri? Where is Madurai? But still is carrying the same card. So it is most important, my dear friends.
Mr. Ravi,
is there any? Yeah, someone wanted to say something.
See, sometimes companies insist to have the card with their headquarters address in it.
I understand.
They would not change it.
I understand.
That is one aspect we need to be conscious of. But while we are giving the card, we need to tell them. That's what is the one change.
That's a good one. But actually what happened, it is corporate office is Mumbai. He works in a station at South. So there will definitely be them. Anyway, I'm not there to say what is right, what is wrong, but is that matters a lot. is that communicate something about us. So that need to be taken care of. And please remember, may I request? Thank you. And again, as Mr. Suresh was talking about, I keep my card in the pouch, and the pouch is kept inside the bag, and in front of the customer, I will open, I'll take up. No, it takes few minutes. So by the time the mind will start reading so much about us. So always remember, the card should be handy and it should be immediately given. And while giving the card, see the way it is demonstrated. While receiving the card itself, the receiver should be able to read the content of the visiting card, whatever is printed there. And don't, please remember, I don't know how many of you heard about this gentleman from Sri Lanka called Rasal Naidu. Is there anyone who knows about him, heard about him? Mr. Rasal Naidu is one of the leading trainer in Sri Lanka and Singapore and all those countries he travel, but he originates from Sri Lanka, and he will not give us business card unless you ask for. So please remember, the business card is not a flyer or a brochure. It is your image. So the business card need to be given very selectively, and that to not create, understand, and then see that is it very, very important to exchange the card. Then present it in an appropriate time and the manner. That's what it talks about. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this note, I've come to an end of the business card etiquette. So whatever the questions you have, you can mark it and we can go. So before I say this to you all, again, I would like to tell you all a great gratitude to Mr. Arun Subramaniam and Mr. Mohan and Mr. D.P. Durga Prasad and my beloved friend, Mr. Tensing Paul Raj. But for you, this program wouldn't have gone up to say about 1+ hour. So thank you very much for very patiently listening to me, and thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mohan, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ravichandran. It was a very interesting session. It has really covered all the aspects of etiquette, as I think no one would have done this great as what you have done today. It was very interesting. And in fact, I would say that, you did say that it is a tip of the iceberg. Rather, I would say that you have really covered the entire iceberg. It's wonderful. And I would request the participants, if you have any queries or questions, you may please unmute and ask one by one, or you can use the chat box to post your questions, or you can, as what Ravichandran said, you can use the raise hand and then he will respond to you. I leave the floor open to participants' questions.
Good evening, Mr. Ravichandran. Ananthakrishnan, may I?
Thank you, Mr. Ananthakrishnan. Yes, please.
Yeah, really, it was very impressive. You covered almost all the points. And especially, I want to contribute one more, is that mail etiquette. Whether it's writing, those days we used to write a lot of letters. Nowadays, mail culture is prominent. And you almost covered all the points. But if I say one point, I think it will be well accepted by you. The common rule is write things to express, not to impress people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because it should be short, relevant, everything is fine. But many people started writing, sir, you are like this, when you are like this, unnecessary words. They want to impress people. But the matter, whether it's a letter or mail, it should to express things.
Yes, you're right.
This humble contribution. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for value adding. Good. Thank you.
Mr. Ravichandran, there was a question from Pushpa. It was like, what can be done if we do not have a business card to share? So what is the protocol that need to be followed?
See, the first question is, when I start saying that I don't have a business card, no, it talks about my image again. So what is the best way is, oh, that's really excellent. Thank you. Is, can I be permitted to respond to you back or send my business envelope, business flyer, maybe tomorrow by by chance I didn't carry this. I'm extremely sorry. No, let us go in a very apologetic and accepting the fact. Probably that would again create some good image. Hope I have answered.
Yes, you can unmute and speak. Yeah. Participants, any questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, please. Yeah, please unmute.
Yes, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, you are right. That is what I said. We can even send the soft copy. Yes, you are right.
Participant bearing the name Redmi, I think you are trying to speak. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is regarding business card.
Yes, sir.
If I don't have, I take his card and then give my mobile through WhatsApp or some communication. That will be also okay, na?
Yes, yes. We can share our number immediately. And once I can give him a promise, sir. The moment I reach, I can send you the business card through the what do you call digital format or as a flyer. I can definitely and take his mail and we can respond back. Answer? Thank you.
Sir, I am Gopi Krishnan.
Yes, Mr. Gopi.
This is regarding through the email communication. People repeatedly argue or send some derogatory remarks, or they have a continued fighting or something like that. Tit for tat, like that writing. So I normally have only 3 times. I send a mail to somebody, he replies, and I reply. Rest of the things I talk it over phone or something like that. Otherwise, it becomes very clumsy and it is addressed to many people. So they come to know about it.
Very rightly said, Mr. Gopi Krishnan. Whatever you said is, let the communication be very minimal and simplified. And whatever the things out of the thing, whatever we need to discuss, yes, it is between 1 to 1. But when it talks about the mail, no, it becomes an evidence. So all the nonsense will also always stay in that, and it will repeatedly replicate in your mind. No, that unwantedly digresses our focus and creates a bad mood and all those things. What you said is absolutely right. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Then another thing in the telephonic conversation, many times the listener records our dialogue and he uses in his official communication as an affidavit or something like that. Without my consent, other gentleman is recording my conversation. That is, I think it is not fair.
I do understand, but what happened that is we are operating in a no influence area.
Okay.
But what we can do is, I'll tell you, the same experience happened to me once. But what happened, the gentleman, when he started recording, he said, just a minute. And really, I just smelled it. I just suspicious. Then immediately I disconnected the phone.
Okay.
And then he called me back and said, I'm sorry, sir, the line got disconnected. I said, yes. I didn't reveal that.
Okay.
But I don't know, at that time, probably you would have started recording and then I don't know. That is absolutely no control area for me.
Okay. One of my friend, he started talking like this. Hope you are not recording my conversation. With that phrase, he started conversing in the telephone, so that it is a caution that other gentleman is not recording our.
Yeah, that is why the most of the corporates and the IVR message, it says that it is recorded for the training purpose. So they will well inform and then record. But if something is not happening but still recording, again I would go say like no control area.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Ravichandran, I think
Hello, sir.
There will be more number of questions coming.
Oh.
While we will definitely look answer them. I would request our Managing Director, Mr. Arun, to come over and speak a few words about the session today, as well as any other communication he wants to pass on.
Good evening, Mr. Mohan. Very nice of you to call me, because Mr. Ravichandran's program was excellent. It was extremely insightful, very helpful, and I think it was needed. It definitely was needed. Thanks to you, Mr. Ravichandran, and I think you need to give more such down-to-earth, practical, and programs which can be applied in our daily life.
Certainly.
It will enrich our relationship with the people with whom we are interacting, show us in good light, and help in building a good team. Thank you. It was very nice, very simple, very lucid, and you are very articulate. Your experience showed. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And incidentally, friends, tomorrow we have a leadership masterclass affecting change through uncertain times. Please do join that. And day after tomorrow, we have the introductory webinar on creativity, innovation, and design thinking. I'll be highly obliged if you all should join. And tomorrow's masterclass, I already put the flyer and the question on which the entire masterclass is going to be conducted. If you should spend a few minutes contemplating the nuances of that question, it will be very helpful in our helping each other arrive at a meaningful leadership concept. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Ravichandran.
Thank you very much, sir. Certainly, I'll be there. And as time permits, definitely we can work more on this.
Yeah, I request if participants have any questions, please continue.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Suresh from Chennai.
Yes, Mr. Suresh.
Sir, regarding the email concern, another question, sir, said rightly, 100% correct. But one more point I wanted to add it. Actually, in the email concern, the subject itself, the receiver has to be understand.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, without reading the content, subject itself, we have to understand what the content is supposed to be.
If you remember, in my presentation, I said the subject line completes 20% of your communication.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the addition.
Yeah. And second thing, sir, in the visiting card concern you are telling, I'm having the almost more than 1,000 visiting card in my visiting card folder for all the pharmaceutical company. They are mentioning in the manufacturer that the headquarter address, for example, Delhi and Bombay, like that.
True.
Very few company only they are printed in the backside the headquarter address. If I'm locating in Chennai, they will be printed in the Chennai office address as well as Bombay address also. Very few means less than 5%. Rest of 95% they are printed only Bombay address and Hyderabad address, Secunderabad address, like that only.
That is, can I answer, or is the question is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. In that is the case, you can always communicate. Sir, my business card carries my corporate office or the admin office. However, my telephone number is always there in that. I'm always reachable any point of time. In the meantime, I can also communicate through the WhatsApp or a mail, where you can also have my local contact and the address. So that would make the person understand better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Sir, I am Gopi Krishnan again.
Yes, Mr.
I have seen some of the business meetings. People use the business cards of all the participants. They just array it in the conference table, and they try to understand the individual attendees by name and their profession and everything. That facilitates them to continue the dialogue to the respective persons.
I think I've already told you, please understand, if you feel that that is important that I need to share my card, yes. See, I know in some of the hotels or the big, wherever you go for live, they have a culture called collecting a business card. And then they will do, they do send you a greeting card. They do send you a small gifts, all those things. No, what happened? Later days, it becomes an hindrance for you. They will absolutely barge into your privacy. So there, it is absolutely your call. Should I or should I not?
Okay.
Right? I had one good experience. Once I visited Lonavala for one of the training program, and these people said, "Sir, please, we collect all the participants and facilitators card, and we will do a lucky dip. And today we will give you something." Okay, we having first I have given. You know what happened? So one resort companies gave a small gift to one of the participants, but 3 years continuously they were harassing me to buy their timeshare.
Okay.
So it is absolutely, we have to be in that conscious thought.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Ravichandran.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. This is Pushpa here.
Yeah, ma'am, please.
Yeah. Good evening to one and all present here also. First of all, I would like to thank you, sir, for the answer you have given regarding non-possessing business card during networking. My another question is, in telephone etiquette, how do we answer unwanted sales calls?
Okay, there are only 2 words. The moment, the moment they initiate a call, you can understand whether it is a purpose or a business. If it is so, there are only 2 ways that I handle this question. One is that I have activated a caller. If it is a spam call, I mean, it shows me red, I will avoid. By any chance, if any other number comes, I call, I said, sorry, I'm busy. I may not be disturbed. If needed, I shall call you back. That's it.
Okay, thank you, sir. And one more short question. A person, you said in telephone etiquette, you have to give only 4 rings and then cut the call if the person doesn't pick up. But what I find is sometimes we are nearing the phone and the person cuts the call after 4 rings. Is it falling under etiquette? It is also irritating at times.
No, that again depends upon the person whom you are called. Suppose if you are relatives or somebody, if it is in your close circle, then the approach is totally different. I'm talking about totally in the business environment.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, please?
Yes, Mr. Ravichandran, another question here.
Yes, Mr.
What Pushpa madam told us also that telephone etiquette, those days only that landline telephone, there will be a receptionist and all. Within the 3rd call, we don't pick up. That speaks about the image of the company. And we have been taught like this earlier days. Some good company, good active people, they'll never miss it. They'll never allow the customer to try again and again. Even if they are busy, they'll answer, sir, kindly please be on the line. I'll come back to you. So that speaks that the ethics have been taught in companies where the receptionist carries the image, the organization, how they answer to the customers.
Very true. Very true. And to add on that, nowadays, all the smartphones, they have an extra facility saying that they can put a pre-recorded, sorry, I'm busy in the meeting.
Yes,
you can leave your name and number. I shall call you back once I'm available. So that also immediately communicates.
But as you rightly mentioned that if you install the Truecaller app, they can find out, clearly gives a message, business call, bank call, fraud, scam, everything comes. We can nicely
At the meantime,
avoid.
Truecaller itself harassing us a lot. That is also
Absolutely. Again, it's become a problem. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Gopi Krishnan again.
Yes, Mr.
Sometimes when we call a very senior people, say some managing director of a bigger corporate or other thing, they resist calling them in their mobile. They want their PS or office staff to be contacted over landline, and they don't encourage mobile calling. So sometimes, how do you handle, sir?
So very simple, sir. There is something called a 3-liner message. 3-liner messaging. The first one is your name, Second
Okay.
one is how you are connected and what is the topic and how
Okay.
much time you would like to talk to.
Okay.
And that determines the urgency of your message. And
Okay.
if it reaches, definitely people do read message and they understand the seriousness and the importance immediately. Many people respond back saying that, yeah, I am available, you can call me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ravichandran, I wanted to share my experience in the context of the business etiquette.
Please, sir.
Especially in a meeting which has been called for with a prior appointment. And when the host is ready to receive the visitor for the business meeting, generally what happens is the host will take the visitor around the office first, before even the start of the meeting. And then he tells them, look, here is the restroom, here is the coffee table or the coffee machine. And in fact, I have seen some of the customers who take the pains of taking the visitor and explaining about the fire map in the floor, saying that in case of a fire, this is where the exit options are. So they go to that level of explaining and setting up an environment for the meeting, even before the start of the meeting. Is that not a very good practice?
Very, very good. No, exactly. That is what even happens in the aircrafts, right? So they keep you well informed so that you are not in trouble or you don't get confused. So it is the utmost. But predominantly what happened, those kind of, the percentage of the area is very, very minimal. Unless the meeting is in a very, very top level something like that. But otherwise, no, in general it happens. But as you rightly said, even in Chennai, I know that few hotels, they do tell you when you log into the room itself, they tell you everything. They show you what it is, where is the coffee shop, where is the restaurant, how much time the lift will be operated, and what is the fire extinguisher, what is the room, everything they also tell you that. Yes, those are the, actually they don't call it as, of course, though it is called as an etiquette, but it is the customary and the rules of the organization.
Right.
They are supposed to do that.
Right.
You are absolutely right.
Thank you. Any other questions, participants? Yes. Yeah.
From Baroda. Actually, I have one question.
Yeah, who's this?
Some people, they'll be talking in two phones at the time. Like they'll be talking on phone and there'll be some other phone also. So they'll be answering both the things. So is it a good business or about how to handle this?
Honestly speaking, that is not right, madam. That is not right. Even that, I don't even call it as an etiquette. I would call it as at most harassing. No, mercilessly treating both the people. No, now you do not know if both the calls totally a different context or the perspective, and the people are different. The one person comes to know what you are talking with another person also unwanted. I think that is not the right. I don't even put that in the etiquette. Probably I would say that is a crime.
That they should put up one phone and they should talk to the one and after some.
At least you must have a basic etiquette saying that, sorry, I'm getting an urgent call. Can you hold on for some time? Or is that fine if I call you back once I complete the call? Or you can say, I'm sorry, I'm holding one more line. Let me complete and I'll come back to you. There should be one coming. But whatever it is, you have to put the information, take the information from the person with whom first you have started conversing. That's the most important. First come, first serve basis. I think, Selvi ma'am, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's participants, it is already 9 p.m. now, the time. If there are any other questions, please ask Mr. Ravichandran. or else we can call it a day.
Sir, this is M. Chidambaram. I just want to give one line feedback, sir, if you permit.
Please, sir.
Mr. Ravichandran, you have done the subject in an exhaustive manner. Many things we knew, you are reinforcing them and you are giving your experiences. Very, very nice. I think it overall covered every aspect in a nutshell. My appreciations and congratulations. A good job. Well
Thank
done.
you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
you,
I'm honored. I'm honored.
I am Tulsi Babu from Bangalore. Can I talk to you?
Yes, sir. Bangalore.
Yeah. So very nice. I consider it a privilege and honor having joined this group, Top League, and since 10 days, 15 days, what fantastic lectures I'm hearing. See, learning is a continuous process. Henry Ford has rightly said, whether you are 20 or 80, learning is a continuous process, and the day you stop learning, you grow old. So wonderful, really, so nice. You're a wonderful trainer. So I have got so many awards. Really, it was interesting. Throughout 2 hours, I enjoyed, really, so nice. And small things matter a lot, particularly etiquette. You said dining hall, phone etiquette and manners, communication, all so nice, so interesting. I really thank Mr. Arun Subramaniam and Mr. Mohan Raju all for conducting such programs. Tomorrow leadership, and last time Dr. Mr. Chidambaram, then Professor Nirmala, and all the people, from everyone you can learn something. So hats off for this wonderful program, and really I feel delighted. No, it's true appreciation from the bottom of my heart for you as well as all the guest speakers throughout till date. So thanks, Mr. Mohan Raju, Mr. Arun Subramaniam, and all the people who have organized this program.
Thank
so
you,
nice.
I am very close to your place. I'm very, very close to your place.
Where are you, Mr. Ravichandran?
I am from 12 kilometers away from your place called Hosur.
Oh, Hosur, yeah, 40 kilometers, very close by only. Very nice. We will be in touch. Very nice.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks for your feedback.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So if we do not have any other questions, I believe we can close this session today. And certainly we would want and we welcome and invite every one of you to join us tomorrow by the same time at 7 p.m. for the session by Mr. Arun Subramaniam on the topic Leadership Masterclass. Okay, thank you very much. And we see you soon tomorrow by evening.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yes, Mr. Mohan. Thank you, Mr. Ravichandran. Good day.
Thank you.
Good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan, for your fullest cooperation and support.
You are always welcome, sir. You are always welcome.
Yeah. Okay, see you. I'm signing off.
I sincerely thank Mr. Ananta Krishnan because he only introduced me to this group. So nice, really. Good night.
Right, sir. So, Mr. Mohan, can I sign off?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.